All right. You want to talk Vrabel?
Yes.
How excited should we be about Mike Vrabel? Let's start with there. 1 to 10, Adam.
Very, very excited. He scores very highly. I have 3 candidates as we talk about these guys that are going to pretty much rise to the top every time we talk about them. Spoiler alert, Ben Johnson is one of them. But on the other side, you talk about Vrabel, who does not have that offensive pedigree, basically scores a 0 because he has not been running an offense. He's a defensive guy, and that's something you have to live with in this formula. However, on the flip side, the opposite of Ben Johnson, scores very highly in the do you win and can you lead category. Yeah, won a lot of games as a player, won a lot of games as a coach, was an NFL Coach of the Year, been to Super Bowls, played in Super Bowls, has Super Bowl rings, and certainly hits that box of alpha leader, which is kind of the phrase that I ended up using, alpha leader, because that's an actual, I don't know if philosophical is the right word, but it's, an actual term in like the dictionary that you can refer to, not leader of men.
Right.
So, and in terms of ability to hire a strong staff, you can look at his track record of hiring. It was good with the Titans. You would think it'd be very good again. Again, questions you can ask in the interview, but you got to think Mike Vrabel being technically kind of out of coaching for a year because he was consulting with the Browns would be able to bring you a good staff. So you feel good about that. Other areas, the areas I haven't written about yet, that'll be more in part 2, but we can talk about it now with Vrabel specifically. Head coaching experience. Obviously, he's got it. 6 years with the Titans. Another thing I take a look at, again, I mentioned this on yesterday's show. You can look this up. Challenge rates. For the guys who've been head coaches, this stuff is on Pro Football Reference. You can look up how good a coach was at challenging plays. Remarkably, with Vrabel, he went 0 for 5 in his first year. Okay?
Did he get better?
He got a lot better, Carm. In his last 3 seasons, I don't have this in front of me right now. Actually, I do have this in front of me right now. I can do a little math on the fly. So, 0 for 5 in his first season. That means the rest of his way, he went 14 for 21 in challenging plays. Does that sound impressive to you or not?
We'll take a 2 out of 3. I'll reduce that for you, Gregory.
Because you'd be amazed at how many coaches I looked at in this project that were below 500 in challenging play. Like almost all of them. There's a lot of coaches that aren't very good. Last 3 seasons, 11 of 12.
Even better.
So he got better and better and better. And I'm going to give Diana Rossini a shout out because she gave us this information on Hoge and Johns earlier this morning. You challenged me yesterday.
I sure did. I always try to.
You wanted to know, Carm, who the game management guys are for every candidate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to find that out?
I really just want to know that they have one, but yes.
Yeah.
Who it is upper level.
Well, this is why Diana Rossini is awesome and, has a much higher profile job than I do. Stretch Striker.
Oh, that's a name.
That's his nickname. Is Vrabel's guy. Apparently he's outstanding. Goes back to Ohio State with Vrabel.
Stretch Striker?
Stretch Striker.
Doesn't sound like a real person, but okay.
That's his nickname. And right now is with Sean McVay, actually, at the Rams. So if you're looking to check the game management guy in the booth who helped him go 11 of 12 on challenges in the last 3 years.
His name is actually John Striker. Okay.
How many times did I say it was a nickname, Steven?
I want people to know exactly who it is because that's what we do here for you on the CHGO Bears podcast. We not only do we tell you that it's Stretch and it's Striker, but we give you the real name too. It's like Superman Clark Kent. That's what he is. Great. Vrabel, I'm in. He's got Stretch Striker.
Another category.
Okay.
That I think this was a rare one for coaching candidates to have. But in almost every case I found it was a positive. And I love this category. Again, very few actually have it. Do you have experience on both sides of the ball? Coaching on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you played on offense and now you coach defense. That's actually Mike Tomlin checks that box. For Vrabel, up until 2 days ago, I thought this was a no. Been a defensive coach, linebackers coach, defensive coordinator, played defense. There was no evidence of anywhere in his resume that he had coached on the offensive side of the ball. Do you know, Mark Carman, what he was doing for the Cleveland Browns this year?
Nope.
I didn't know this either until 2 days ago.
Sure don't.
Mike Vrabel was coaching tight ends to begin with.
I did know it.
And eventually took over the offensive line.
Okay. I had it like in my head. I was like, I swear he was a tight ends coach somewhere, but I didn't think it was this year with the Browns.
That's what his role this year. So he went out, he takes a year off from being a head coach, and he got experience on the offensive side of the ball. I effing love that. I love that. I love that. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the offensive line for the Bears. Now I'm not saying Vrabel should be their O-line coach.
Well, he needs to hire a good one, but go ahead.
But he does need to hire a good one there.
Maybe the most at hire. I would argue that the O-line coach outside of the offensive coordinator, if it's Mike Vrabel, is the second biggest hire. We need somebody who can develop an offensive line. Because Lord knows they're going to have a lot of new players on there. But go ahead.
All right, let me breeze through these other things. Obviously, NFL experience. This is actually one a lot of coaching candidates have been in the league for a long time. I do score that. It does matter how long have you been in the NFL. There's a lot of times why I think college coaches don't work out when they come to the NFL. It's a completely different league, completely different ball game. You have to be in the league for a long time. A lot of guys have been in the league like 20 years, including as a player. It matters too. How many coaching influences / trees are you a part of? That's something I think matters.
I like that.
Matt Nagy, Andy Reid all the way, had never even been on a different staff.
Right.
I think that hurt him. And I don't necessarily think, by the way, that Vrabel scores highly in that category. He's basically a Belichick guy. And then, he had the opportunity to go to Houston. But, he's got his ways about it. I don't think it's a negative either, but he doesn't necessarily score super high. Experience handling the media. Bonus point if that's in a large market. That matters. And I think we've learned that over the years with the Bears. Now, again, we're lower on the list. This is not the stuff that matters as much as the stuff I was talking about earlier. It does get counted, though. Other things that we talk about, aggressive, data-driven mindset. Are you weakening a division rival? Ben Johnson and Brian Flores would hit that box. Obviously, Mike Vrabel does not.
That'd be way down the list for me, but okay.
McVay-Shanahan tree. That's proven to matter here in the last few years. So do you check that box? Obviously, Vrabel does not. That's okay. Continuity with the front office. This is a question that's going to be a little bit harder, and it's murky right now with the Bears. And I don't know that Vrabel would necessarily check that box. Does he want to work with this Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles situation, or does he want to have more control? So all in all, Mike Vrabel, though, scores highly. Let me give you one comp as we hit our next break here.
Yep.
And end this segment on Mike Vrabel. This is more. So he would be pretty close to where, not quite to this level, but just a hair under where Andy Reid was when Andy Reid got hired with his second coaching opportunity by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Just in terms of the overall score, how that all comes out, different strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, Andy Reid's an offensive guy. Mike Vrabel's not. But all in all, he's a shade under where Andy Reid was.
That's a outstanding comp right there. Great. Let him be a poor man's Andy Reid. We would take that. Guy's going to go down with the most wins of anybody in the history of the NFL now.
And
can I tell you one thing about Vrabel that I like for just real quick? 2021, he was the NFL head coach of the year. Who was his quarterback? That'd be Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
All right. Where was his defense? Kind of middle of the road. If you look at their stats, they weren't dominant. He won 12 games with Tannehill and a above average but not elite defense. That's pretty good. That's Caleb Williams better be a hell of a lot better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill by the time we're done here. Win a lot more games, damn it.
One more. He is also just a tick ahead, and actually closer to Sean McVay than Andy Reid. So, you take Sean McVay too, obviously. Different types of coaches, defensive guy, offensive guy, all that. But that's to give you I'm going to keep coming back to this as I bring this stuff up. Matt Eberflus, it's so ridiculous. I wish I had known all this at the time. Obviously, I didn't have this project 3 years ago. Matt Eberflus scored half.
Has anyone seen the Flus?
Than Mike Vrabel.
We all silly like the mayor.